Good afternoon, everybody, from Kings Meadow in southwest London for the biggest game of the WSL season so far. Champions Chelsea against league leaders Manchester United. A real signpost this to the destination of the title. Chelsea unbeaten in 31 league games over a staggering 2 years, 10 victories in their last 11. United unbeaten in 13 league games since Chelsea defeated them at the Leigh Sports Village 50 weeks ago, 8 league wins in their last 9. And as they hit the halfway mark in the season today, it's United who have that 3-point lead over Chelsea in the table. But if the Blues win their game in hand, and if they win this today, it will be a third win in 4 against Casey Stone's side, well, they would of course be on top of the table. It would break the United challenge, would it? We'll wait and see. On the other hand, a first win over Chelsea would give United a yawning 6-point gap at this stage, a big psychological advantage. Their headline team news, Laura: Mjelde, Eriksson, Harder and G start. Very strong side.
Yeah, really strong side. I think it was a strong side as well last week when they beat Reading 5-0. They're in fine form. They found their rhythm, their flow. You know, they were certainly clinical and ruthless that day.
So impressive last weekend. They were opening their 2021 calendar with that 5-0 win at Reading. G got the last goal that day, but it was very, very much the Fran Kirby show. She was very much back to her best in that game, Laura, wasn't she?
Yeah, she really was. She's playing with a smile on her face. She's fit, she's healthy, she's enjoying her football, and the partnership that her and Sam Kerr have is absolutely sensational. It's probably one of the best partnerships we've seen in the WSL.
Big ball over the top for the first goal, but she took it so very, very well, drawing the keeper, rounding her and tucking it in right foot.
Yeah, she had so much time, and sometimes when you have too much time, you know, you make the wrong decision, but not on that occasion.
Struggled through 2019 and most of 2020 with an illness. Very much back, though, to full fitness and happiness, and a terrific second.
Yeah, the strength to hold Emma Mitchell off all the way and finish it while, you know, a defender's right on top of her. It shows real composure.
Left-footed after 23 minutes. The perfect hat-trick came in first half stoppage time from Sam Kerr's pullback.
Fran Kirby stays alive when most of the Reading defenders don't, and she finishes that off with a head like she scores every week with a head.
And then 8 minutes into the second half, she got another header too, this time from Guro Wrighton's corner.
Yeah, she wanted it more than any other Reading defender, and when you make the contact first and get that near post space, you get that.
5-star performance from Chelsea, certainly second in the WSL, and they've not lost this season. Only the 2 points dropped in their last 5 games. Kerr and Kirby, their top league scorers. Here come Manchester United. 3 changes for them. In come Hansen Ladd and Christian Press. Her first start since November the 9th. Tobin Heath, she's on the bench.
Yeah, really interesting. Tobin Heath has been sensational for Manchester United so far. She really has. She's added another dimension. But Manchester United are full of confidence. Casey getting manager of the month in December, and Leah Galton getting player of the month. So they're in fine form, but they haven't played for 4 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see what level they're at today.
No, that might be significant. Chelsea played last week. It's United's first game in 28 days exactly since they thumped a COVID week in Bristol City before Christmas. And it was the player of the month, Leah Galton, who exploded them ahead after 26 minutes. Really good goal from a player banging form.
Created this opportunity in goal for herself, just a little bit of ball manipulation, and she can hit it from outside the box.
Millie Turner made it 2 in stoppage time.
Yeah, just a powerful header from Millie Turner. There's only one person getting that.
8 minutes into the second half, Jess Sigsworth made it 3.
Stays alive from the second phase and finishes off well in the crowded area.
Yeah, goal poacher's instinct there, wasn't it? And Leah Galton made it 4 with a cross, a shot. What is this, Laura?
I think it was a cross for Tobin Heath, but when she's on that form, I think anything that she hits goes in, so you can see a surprise on her face.
Well, it stayed that way until the last 7 minutes, and then Heath took over herself. That's some goal.
It really is, to capitalise on a poor pass and to finish like that, executed, sensational.
And she went on to get her first double in WSL football.
Yeah, she finishes bottom corner, and with the power that's got on it, no one's stopping it.
Well, similar form, just the 2 points dropped in their last 5 games for Manchester United, who are on top in the WSL, unbeaten. As I said, Leah Galton is in a terrific purple patch. They finished last season in 4th. This is their best campaign in top flight football ever. Manchester United, of course, who came into the women's game fairly late on, but they are catching up very, very quickly. Well, it's a glorious day down in southwest London in the Kingston area where they used to crown the Kings of England back in the Middle Ages. And, well, whoever wins this could go on to be crowned champions of the WSL. It's that important, Laura, isn't it?
It is an important game. It is. I think both managers have been expressive in the way that it's not a title deciding fixture, but it certainly is a big game, and to win the league you need to win and perform in these matches today. Well,
Manchester City have already thumped Aston Villa 7-0 today, as you can see. Hemp got 2, Scott Stanway an own goal by Haig, and then Ellen White and Chloe Kelly wrapped up the scores there. Everton 3-0 up against Bristol City. You can see their good start for Everton. Couple there for Izzy Christensen, and McGill got the third. So that's the table as it stands at this moment in time. Manchester City clawing up the deficit, but tonight if Manchester United win, they will be a yawning 7 points behind their leaders, entering the leaders and their deadly rivals as we enter the second half of the season. Well, earlier on here today, no fans, don't forget, Magdalena Eriksson and Bethany England both picked up special awards for recently completing 100 appearances for Chelsea. Beth England 55 goals in that time, 8 in all competitions this season. Did well recently in the Champions League. Let's not forget that they paid to Benfica rather handsomely as well, Laura, 5-0 away and 3-0 at home through to the next stage of that competition, Chelsea. Yeah, those two performances, you know, were very convincing, and they got the job done, and both games have different starting lines up, so it just shows the strength in depth that this Chelsea team have. And before we go on, we must pay mention to Reading, who you saw in that scoreline 1-0 up against Arsenal, and that's a terrific, if they can pull off a surprise there, that would be a terrific. When Bruton got the goal there for Reading against Arsenal, who have been, of course, right up there at the right end of the table. But the pride of London, Chelsea are the champions, and if they win this one, will they go a long, long way to landing the title, because psychologically they will deal a terrible blow to Manchester United if they win this, Chelsea. Yeah, that's right, and the form that they're in, you know, you wouldn't put it past them, but this, you know, these two sides, they're both defensively so strong and they're so good on the counter-attack. So I expect a tight game, and you just can't call it really. They in both teams, in both starting 11s, they had game winners and match winners. So in any moments is about which team manages those moments correctly. Galton on the back of that line, either at left back or left side midfield or left wing back. Wherever she's played this season, she's been terrific for them, hasn't she? She really has. She's been so impressive, and that accolade in December was well earned. And you know, I don't know if England and the national team is aspirations of her, but she certainly should be in and around that squad, because she's been so important. And like you say, her versatility, wherever she's played, she's comfortable and she produces a solid performance week in, week out. England under 19 she is, but she's in her late 20s now. She's 26, Leah Galton. Will she get that chance as Magdalena Eriksson back in the starting lineup for Chelsea leads them out? The experienced Swedish international, of course, Olympic silver medalist back in 16, Millie Bright, who's having another fine season behind her. And there's Fran Kirby in the middle of your picture now, who is in sparkling form. It's a joy to see her back, not just to goal scoring form, not just to fitness, but for happiness as well. And if you've known Fran Kirby over the years, you'll know how much that means to her. She's battled with her demons over the last couple of years and that terrible illness that laid her low, but to see her back scoring goals is a great joy for her club and also for fans of England as well, the Lionesses. And at the back of the line there, the coach, what a spectacular success she has been, as well as the Chelsea manager Emma Hayes. Well, let's confirm the team news for you then. Mjelde and Eriksson both back for Chelsea. Mjelde's missed the last two. Eriksson has come off the bench in the last two as she returns to full fitness. Pernille Harder and Ji So-Yun come in. They were off the bench last week at Reading. Now, Manchester United's big team news, the return to the starting lineup for Christian Press, first time since illness took her in November. Her last start November, the 9th, I think I was saying early on. She replaces Tobin Heath, a US teammate, who goes to the bench. Hansen comes in for Sigsworth, and Hayley Ladd replaces Zellum. Conservative move, that I would guess, to bolster the central midfield area. Let's look at the two substitutes benches for you there. Hannah Blundell started last week, came into the side very, very late on at Reading, but played very well. Beth England, 8 goals in all competitions for her this season, some experience on that bench, and also for Manchester United. That is a very, very strong Manchester United bench. You look at the players on there: Zellum, McManus, England international, and of course Tobin Heath, World Cup star. Really strong bench.
Yeah, really strong bench, and that's what you need, because sometimes the first half, is quite cagey. So sometimes the second half you need players to come and impact and make a sudden impact. They can't have 20-30 minutes to get into the game. It's got to be impact, and that's what Manchester United have, as well as Chelsea.
Referee is Rebecca Welsh. She's refereed a couple of men's games recently in English football in the National League. That's the 5th tier, Halifax against Altrincham. I think she took a Hartlepool game against Kings Lynn United. And she took the big Chelsea important 3-2 win against West Ham United before Christmas. She's one of the best, I think, in WSL football, Rebecca Welsh, the referee.
Yeah, she certainly has a lot of consistent performances, which is what you need. So she'll certainly be tested and need to be on her game today with 2 top players, 2 top teams going head-to-head.
Well, it's a huge game in WSL football, this. The leaders against the reigning champions. They don't get any bigger than this in English women's club football, and we're nearly ready to go. Patches of blue and high grey clouds. We're almost ready to go here at Kings Meadow. The players of Chelsea in blue and Manchester United in the famous red and white, and the coaches of both sides take the knee as players once again repeat the message: no room for racism or social injustice in football or in society. And off we go then. Chelsea, the reigning champions. Manchester United, top of the WSL. And without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest game in the league calendar this season. Laura Bassett.
Yeah, it's such a really interesting. These 2 teams met each other on the first day of the opening game of the season, and it was finished in a 1-1 draw. I think Chelsea had much of the better of the first half and had so many chances, so I'm sure Casey Stoney won't want to be repeating that first half.
And if you've just joined us, Manchester City have already beaten Villa today, 7-0. Everton are 4-0 up against Bristol City. It's 0-0 Birmingham City against Brighton. And Reading surprisingly lead Arsenal by 1-0 as Manchester United, first attack of the game, looks for Leah Goulton, and it's nudged away by Anne-Katrin Berger, but there was a flag raised anyway. The flag that the assistant referees this season in football, as I'm sure you're aware, told to keep the flags down until the culmination of a move. And that goes through the system of leagues in the English game, even if there isn't VAR involved. Here's Emma Hayes, who recently said she looks at all her players, she cares for them as if they're her own children. And she's got big name children out there, I can tell you, in Kerr and Benila Harder, but she deals with them with great care and attention. Manchester United, though, have started brightly. And it's a tricky run through to the edge of the penalty area. Harder got back there, chased back there. Interesting to see how Chelsea line up, because Kirby played in the 10 last week and got those 4 goals at Reading. Harder would be ideally suited to that.
Yeah, that's right. Kirby and Kerr, because Frank Kirby was a little bit more central, she was able to, combine and impact Sam Kerr, and likewise their partnership was really on point. But it looks like Kirby started on the right, and like you say, the well-known, we used to see Pernilla Harder through the centre in that number 10 role, picking up and exploiting spaces.
Poor clearance away by Berger, and an early opportunity here for Manchester United as they look for press. Just the 1 goal so far for Manchester United, but she's only played 7 games. She picked up that illness back in the late weeks of the autumn. Not involved in the US camp, and neither's Tobin Heath, though Sam Mewis and Rose Lavelle have left Manchester City to join up with the US in preparation for the She Believes Cup. And United throw down the line. Looks then for Kirsty Hansen. Here's Kerr. A strong run by her to the edge of the penalty area, and she gets a shot away, and it's saved by the legs there of Mary Earps. But Manchester United allowed Sam Kerr to run a long way with the ball.
What a fantastic run that was from Sam Kerr. Really individual effort. The pace and power that she has to break through and take it on. That's a sign full of confidence to take that shot. But all credit to Mary Earps for keeping it out there.
Little bash on the head for Toon. Should be okay in the moment. Sam Kerr, 8 goals this season. And a direct run from the Australian superstar.
She does so well to power past Amy Turner. Again, she cuts inside and Millie Turner can't quite get up to the ball because she's already jinked on her right-hand side. So, but that's an early warning sign for Manchester United.
She scored up at Lee Sports Village in the 1-1 draw, first game of the season. Missed a few chances there, having missed many in the Community Shield, the English Super Cup, if you like. But she scored the goal. Leah Galton equalised for Manchester United. United actually, I thought their best performance this season was in the second half of the 2-2 comeback in the big league derby against Manchester City. They're under the cosh again here, and Kerr's missed one now.
Yeah, it seems like Chelsea have found a little recipe already by playing the balls through the centre-backs, in between the 2 centre-backs or the centre-back and the full-back. And because Sam Kerr does so well, she's on the shoulder of Amy Turner, and as soon as Fran Kirby picks up the ball, it's played in. And when she threw to goal, Sam Kerr, it's really difficult to catch her. But that she just needs a little bit of added composure to get the ball on target.
This season, she has needed a lot of chances to get her goals.
Yeah, she already has a hat-trick against West Ham, and she's found some form and some goals, and especially it's either Sam Kerr providing for Kirby or vice versa. But you're right, in the first half against these two teams when they've already met, you know, Sam Kerr did have a lot of chances, and the game could have been put to bed for Chelsea.
It's Manchester United on the attack here with press. And again, the flag goes up fairly late. You can see the exasperation of the players with the late flag. But that's the instructions they have to follow. Christian Press, a lively start by her. Thought she took a little bit of time to settle in. And then she had the illness.
It's close, that is. I think Kristen Press, she holds her line really well, but just must have been too eager. But she certainly has pace, and I think Millie Bright and Eriksson need to be really careful of her pace and her movement. Part
of the US side, of course, that won the World Cup in France. That's another effort that was popped wide, but she has started the game very wide, very well. And they're pressing Chelsea right back into their penalty area there. Eriksson slipped it away. Very consistent Chelsea back four. Mjelde, Bright, Eriksson and Jonna Andersson. And there's the future England manager in the making, I feel certain. Not tomorrow, not this year, of course, not next year, but one day she'll be the England manager, I would think. Your former teammate.
Yeah, I think that's a aspiration of hers in the long run. But I think speaking to Casey, you know, she knows she has a lot of learning. She's still young in her managerial career, and you know, she's doing exactly right, going to Manchester United, learning and growing and putting 100% work rate in to eventually achieve those and have those opportunities later on.
Well, when she became manager in June 2018, she had very little time to assemble a squad, and she took them up, of course, from the WSL 2, the FA Women's Championship, into top flight football, and here they are leading the league. And impressive early on a Bakia, nudge it through to the edge of the box. The Catalan right fullback, signed this season, and you watch her get forward. She's wearing 17. Hansen will leave it for the former Levante player, the Spanish international. And well, that shouldn't have happened, not at this level of the game. 7 minutes gone, 0-0. So Chelsea have the ball now, and Anderson will take. Missed the one game this season against Bristol City. It's a free kick, and I think that Manchester United will feel a little bit hard done by there. The challenge from Hayley Ladd seemed firm but fair to me. Ever present this season, one of several Manchester United ever presents. Played less games than Chelsea, are involved in the Champions League, of course. There's Kirby and Kerr. Kirby back to the right-hand side, as we were saying, harder in the more central role, the number 10 position.
I think on the microphone there you can hear Casey Stoney, the Man United manager, saying take care with the throw-ins, and she'll be a stickler for that, for set pieces, and a throw-in is included in a set piece. You know, you've got to take care.
Chance for Chelsea to build with the excellent Erin Cuthbert. A super game last week in the deeper position. Such a versatile player. Kirby runs into a little bit of trouble, and Manchester United should clear away. Former Manchester City manager Nick Cushing is watching on, I can tell you that. He's over in the US these days, watching for, working for Manchester City over there. And he'd have been impressed, I guess, by Manchester City's romp earlier on in the afternoon in the WSL, as they crushed Aston Villa 7-0. Villa have real problems down the wrong end of the table. They're 11th, only Bristol City below them. 7-0 it was to Manchester City, who scored in the opening 2 minutes of the game. We've had 9 and no goals here. If you are watching in the USA or anywhere in the world, our coverage of WSL football, then get in contact with us on social media and let us know. So the little header infield, and it's gathered by Millie Turner. Really solid centre-back pairing, the two Turners. Here's Amy, who's the older of the two. Good press high there by Leupolz. A very good first season she's having in English football. Big investment at Chelsea to retain the title and go on and win the Champions League. Here's Millie Bright. And Berger's not at her best with the ball at her feet. Not this season, anyway.
I think this season she's made some crucial saves. You know, she's not required for long periods of the game, so it's about concentration, communication. And I think she has come up and delivered on the match-winning saves. But yeah, in terms of her distribution, you know, it can be better, especially when teams press high.
Chelsea making the pitch big there. Kirby the shot by Pernilla Harder, and controlled and pushed back to the goalkeeper by Cronin, the Dutch international. A slice by Kirsty Smith. And the former Doncaster Bells players you'll see peppered around the WSL. Really famous old English name, though not at the top flight anymore. Here's Sam Kerr. Kirby's in the middle. Perfect weight on the ball was required, and it was just too far ahead of Kirby. She's kept it in though. Here's Sahada. She is in support on the edge of the penalty area. It'll give and go. Well worked by Chelsea. Good intervention by Smith, and Manchester United do get it away. And here's Ella Toone. Creative player is Ella Toone. 4 in the last 6 games as well. Decent spell here for Chelsea. Cuthbert. Blitz for Kerr. She will score a goal, Sam Kerr. Yes, she has chances to score the goals, but doesn't she work?
Yeah, she works so hard for the team, and listening to her interviews and how she handles herself, you know, she's such a team player, and that's why she's thriving now. But this is all, you know, she creates this. She sets back to Erin Cuthbert, who had an outstanding game against Reading in central midfield, and you can see the creativeness, and she's trying to put it on her plate for Fran Kirby, just a little bit had too much pace on the ball. Kerr
stalks her way through the penalty area. Record goal scorer in Australian Women's League football and US Women's League football. 12 minutes gone. Cuthbert and Anderson conspire. In it swings in towards that far post, and up went Eriksson. It's cleared away. And safety first for Chelsea. The older back it goes to Ann-Katrin Berger. Again, not a great piece of football by the German goalkeeper. As I said before, it's a remarkable story, Ann-Katrin Berger. She was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in 2017. She was playing inside a few months. Great story, the Casey Stoney story. Of a different kind, of course. Terrific England international player and really authoritative as a coach. Kirby's coming to the left-hand side here. It's a great run, picks out Sam Kerr. Strong enough to get the shot away in the end, claims a deflection. Goal kick given.
And first look, it looked like Sam Kerr's got every single right to appeal for that. But look, great work by Fran Kirby. Look, she's tenacious, she goes straight at. She doesn't let Hayley Ladd get too close to her. Good combination. And it looks like, you can't maybe see it from that angle, but it looks like when Sam Kerr hits, it does get a deflection. But all credit to Millie Turner for making her first putt, getting up again and affecting the ball.
Made by Mary Earps. Big season for her as she tries to claim the England #1 jersey. She's certainly competing in there with Ellie Roebuck. Carly Telford as well. She's not getting enough first team football. It's a lovely ball here from Kirby to Kerr. Oh, she took it with the outside of her right foot. Wrong option there. Nearly a quarter of an hour played. Chelsea should have been ahead. That's a bad miss.
But again, it starts with a combination. Great little nick from G. Good combination from Kerr and Kirby, and she's off. And I think Mary Earps does well. She comes down the line of the ball, but she waits. So the emphasis is on Sam Kerr. She has a look, and she knows she just toe punts that. She's got a good left foot. I don't know why she doesn't, be a little bit. She could pass it down the side of Mary Earps there rather than, taking it so early with her right foot.
And the coach looks perplexed as well. There's the goal scorer with the exceptional record at Western New York Flash and the Sky Blue and Chicago Red Stars in the US alone. Misses a golden opportunity for Chelsea in the WSL. Here's Eriksson, so steady, the Swedish international. Anderson, the left back, also a Swedish international. Mjelde is a Norwegian international, and Millie Bright is a Chesterfield girl from England. Another former Donny Bell's player. And she's had a really good 12 months, I think, Millie Bright, looking to continue the 2020 form into 2021.
Yeah, she's been outstanding. She's just so reliable. Everything that, when the ball's around her, out of possession or in possession, she just does what you expect as a fan, as a coach. She just does what you expect her to do. And she's also been vital with some goals this season, which is great to add because of her presence from set pieces. And from having played next to Millie Bright as well, she's such a great team person, team player, wants the best for the team, and is certainly developing into a fine leader.
Here's Harder. She's followed the pass and gone into a good position in the middle. Here's Kirby. Trying to pull it back to Pernilla Harder. And Manchester United should get it away now with Kirsty Smith, who was somewhat lost on that left-hand side. Frank Kirby has the beating of her. Frank Kirby's made an exceptional start to this game, but here's Galton for Manchester United. Asked too much there of Christian Press, and the ball ran away.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen Leah Galton with time and space on that left-hand side. She, manages to get past Leupolz, who tried to come across and win the ball, and it's just that little bit of execution in the final third.
Very well thought of in the game. Very rarely hear a bad word from anyone about Casey Stoney. MBE, I should say. Was a player at Chelsea and was player manager for a little while at Chelsea, was Casey Stoney. And she was relatively young. Millie Bright. Back to Ann-Katrin Berger. She was only filling in then, I think, Casey Stoney. It was a bit of an interim position for her. And she combines being Manchester United manager with the role of being mum as well. The twins, Teddy and Tilly would be 6 years of age now.
Also Willow as well. They had another one, another baby girl.
There she is. This match brought to you by Atta Football. For more premium European women's content, visit attafootball.com. Should be cleared away by Millie Turner. On that far side, given the job of marking Emma Hayes' form player, Brian Kirby, Kirsty Smith. Had a recent run in the side. She played the opening 3 games and then wasn't in the team. She's played 3 of their last 4 coming into this, but it's a hard job for her today. Cuthbert, poor ball into Kerr, and she's fouled Amy Turner. That's the challenge, Sam Kerr. She's a feisty individual out there. Her granddad was a boxer, featherweight. Her dad and uncles played Aussie rules, as she did, until the age restriction stopped her playing when she was 12, turned to football. She didn't like football when she was a youngster. When did you first start playing and really thought about, dreaming about going on and being an England international?
Just started playing at school really with the lads in the playground, but yeah, it was never really an aspiration to play for England until later on when I realised there was more girls and women's teams. So yeah, I was just really lucky at school that the lads let me join in and play.
The development of English football over the last 6-7 years has been absolutely staggering at international and club level. And Emma Hayes has recently said what a joy it has been to be part of that. Players, clubs, associations, media all coming together to promote the game. It's great to be part of it. It's as tight as we thought it would be. 20 minutes gone, no goals. Still Reading lead Arsenal. Well, it's gone 1-1 now. It's just gone 1-1, Reading Arsenal. And they're into half-time there now. Vivian Miedemar has equalised for Arsenal just before the break. Birmingham 0, Brighton 0. That's at half-time. Everton, Bristol City stoppage time. Everton leading by 4-0, and the remaining game is 3 o'clock kick-off UK time. That's at West Ham against Spurs, both with relatively new managers in charge. Galton. And now Toon. He's a bright and technically gifted player. Referee's playing on. Toon. And here to Cronin. A steady individual player is Jackie Cronin. Galton. Tight to the line. Smith kept it in play. Big switch of play. Looking for Kirsty Hansen, just run away from her. The Scottish international. She started off at Manchester United, the centre of excellence, Kirsty Hansen, but they didn't have a team then at senior women's level, so she had to leave, went away, came back a couple of years ago. Casey Stoney has put together this squad of really high quality in such a short time. It's Amy Turner, a couple of years out in the US at Hofstra University. Did Amy? Jackie Cronin. Yeah, 4 years playing in Germany with Essen and Duisburg before Chelsea. She went back to German football after her first spell at Chelsea. She was at Tilburg University at the time, and she used to fly in and out to lectures. I know what I'd have done. I'd have just missed the lectures, to be honest, and just play football.
Ask for them online.
And those who know me know that actually did happen frequently, until disciplinary charges were brought by the relevant university. It's a long story for another day, Laura.
I was at Chelsea when Jackie Groenham first came in, and she actually, knowing her, she actually went on trial at Arsenal and at Chelsea. And I think she actually wanted to come to Chelsea because training with both teams, she felt more at ease with the Chelsea players and the club. So that's why she had a season there. So, but really interesting. She was such a bright talent then. She could impact games, you know, so well with her goals and the ability how she can glide past players and you know, her tenacious midfield play. So she always knew that she had a bright future ahead of her. It was just the development experiences that she needed to gain first.
And she's in the middle of your picture there, Jackie Groenham. Big Dennis Bergkamp fan. She wears 14 because she's a big Johan Cruyff fan. Show me someone from the Netherlands who isn't. Now here's Leupolz. Been in the harder. And Milda arriving. There's good overlap. Loves to get forward. Scored against Manchester United a couple of times last season in League and Continental Cup. Been well dealt with by Leah Galton.
Yeah, it's a good battle down that side for Leah Galton up against Mara Mialda. You know, Leah Galton is certainly not going to let Mialda get the better of her.
Took the Hofstra Pride, the university there in on Long Island, I think. She was the record scorer at university there, Leah Galton. A couple of players out there today have been there. Swung away and headed firmly away and out of play for another Chelsea throw. And some back defending. Nothing between the two sides. Very close on the opening day of the season, the 1-1 back in early September.
I think it's following a similar pattern to that first game. I think Chelsea have had the much better chances. Arguably, they should be ahead with the chances that Sam Kerr have created. And I think as the game goes on, the first half, Man United grow into the game and become a little bit more confident.
3 changes apiece for either side from the teams that opened the season in that 1-1 draw. And here's a throw then to Manchester United. 25 minutes gone. Lovely sunny day and a little bit milder actually in London over the last few days. It was raw cold last week. Chance here for Hansen for Manchester United. Millie Bright doesn't get a clearance away, and Kristen Press rather stabbed at it and wide it went.
There's a good instinctive shot by Kristen Press, but good play. You know, Manchester United like to get in behind the fullbacks. Good delivery, but a mistake by Millie Bright. You know, an instinctive reaction from Kristen Press there to get the shot off.
Only a 5th start this Cup last season. Utah Royals player. The season was suspended, of course, in the US due to the pandemic. But she's had a period in Europe beforehand. She was successful with Gothenburg. She won the cup there, scored in the final. With Tyresö also in Scandinavian football. She was the first US player ever to win the Swedish Golden Boot. Went to the Champions League final with them. Wonderful goal scorer.
Her playing rights in the US have actually been traded to the latest team, Louisville, which is an interesting stat going over there. So their season's due to start in a couple of months. So her playing rights actually land with Louisville, but obviously while she's playing over here, she was fully committed to Manchester United.
She signed a year deal, didn't she, to stay?
Yeah, that's correct. So
Cuthbert will swing this away. Eriksson was in there. It's a good header. It's cleared off the line. A really powerful header on goal, and the rebound hits the inside of the post and is eventually forced in by Harder. Chelsea take the lead. Twice they went close, and just shy of the half hour they lead, with Pernille Harder getting the goal.
I think that was well deserved. I think we've seen how reactive that Manchester United have been. I think it was a lot of emergency defending in there. Amy Turner already headed it off the line and eventually went over, but all credit to Chelsea for keeping the pressure on, keeping the ball alive. And Harder reacts well. It lands at her foot. She hasn't really got to do a lot, but she's got to get the ball past plenty of Manchester United numbers.
Eriksson with a header off the line by Turner, then Kirby followed up, hit the post, it was cleared off the line again by Hayley Ladd, and the follow-up eventually goes in.
And we know how crucial set pieces are in these big games, these big moments. And unfortunately, Manchester United will be disappointed in how they've defended that corner.
Massive goal, that. In this game, the first goal is always going to be vital, but not just that, in the context of the season. Chelsea do move above Manchester United. How will United deal with it? Chelsea hugely experienced in chasing down titles, of course. Can they hit back straight away? Here's press, Coulton away to the right-hand side. She runs Millie Bright, who timed that very well, needed to go into the ground. Manchester United unbeaten in the league this season. The last defeat came on the 29th of January last year against Chelsea at home. Now you can look back at those 28 days where they haven't played. Yes, almost effectively a mid-season break, but then you've got the rustiness to get over, which Chelsea played last week.
Yeah, that's right. And due to being in a pandemic, you can't play any friendlies, can you? You can play inter-squad games, which, you know, does raise the levels, but it is tough. But, you know, Casey's been, she said she used the time being, you know, in a positive way to prepare for Chelsea even more thorough, you know, try to work on exploiting their weaknesses. But you're right, you can't, you know, there's nothing that replicates a competitive game.
Here come United. Hunter's gone away to that right-hand side, ball into press. Lovely first touch. Beautiful, took it beyond Eriksson. Because it came in, it was pinged into her, but a fine piece of control. One of the most impressive half hours as a Manchester United player. The LA-born Christen Press. How can Manchester United respond? By Earps, hopes of a fifth clean sheet this season now gone, and they haven't played that up particularly well. Running immediately under pressure. Did well with it. His fourth goal of the campaign. Scored over 100 for Wolfsburg in 114 games. Had a wonderful spell just over a year ago. In 6 matches she scored 4 hat-tricks for Wolfsburg. Went with them to the Champions League final. And I remember commentating on that final. I thought they had a chance of winning it in 2020, Wolfsburg, but they ran into that cold machine called Olympique Lyon. It was a particularly good piece of defence there by Jonna Andersson. She got a wee bit fortunate. As we've said many times, Laura, the big aim this season for your Chelseas and Manchester Cities to be up there with Lyon on that sort of level.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially because I think Lyon are going through a transitional period. We're seeing them let players go, or they're rumoured potentially, and we're seeing them sign players. So, you know, it certainly looks like they're rebuilding, going through a transition phase, and you know, that can impact teams and the way they play. But I mean, look, I'm not writing them off. They certainly are still a very, very extremely dominant force. They're currently not, you know, PSG are top of the French league, so that's interesting. They certainly have, you know, more competition. So we'll see how they fare, but yeah, certainly Manchester City and Chelsea, that's a big title that they're going for.
Hansen did well, checks back, opportunity to find Toon in the middle. Eriksson went to ground, that might be offside. And Chelsea certainly thought it was. The only question I have in my mind that the flag didn't raise, they thought it might have gone off. Oh, it's now raised. They thought it might have gone off a Chelsea player, perhaps. She looks very lively today, Christen Press.
She does. We haven't seen her lead that line, like you say, for quite some time. But she certainly looks lively. She's causing Millie Bright and Eriksson a lot of problems by how sharp she is, how good her first touch is. You know, when she's facing up players, she arguably needs a little bit more space and to keep the ball away from Millie Bright in an earlier incidents.
Was on the bench for the US when they won the World Cup in 2015 in Vancouver. Came on for the last 11 minutes when they won it again. Only seems like yesterday, those finals in Canada, let alone the finals in France. Toon used to play it well and wide for Galton, and it was well watched by Milder. Certainly think Chelsea's back four is one of the best in European football. Amy Turner brings it down. Awkward there is that Cuthbert was on the case to dispossess Butler, and off she goes running. Looks for Sam Kerr. Flag stays down. Manchester United were appealing. He's harder in space to get the shot away, and then that flag goes up again.
It's a really slick move though, wasn't it? You know, the way they break, how quickly they can break from midfield, break past the Manchester United midfield line with Cuthbert. You know, she had a great game in centre midfield last week against Reading, and she's doing the same this week. Her ability to carry the ball at pace and, you know, to thread that final ball through is really of a high calibre.
No question there. Sam Kerr was always offside. Millie Bright to step out and play. 4 times a champion. A couple of FA Cups to her name as well. And the League Cup, Continental Cup as it's called at the moment. Has been for a long while now. We have seen stirring Manchester United's second half performances this season. But we know how wily Emma Hayes, MBE, is the Chelsea manager who cut her teeth with the Long Island Lady Riders. Iona College, New Rochelle side at New York. Chicago, she was there for a while. She was the assistant coach and the academy head coach at Arsenal. I think while she was there on the coaching staff at Arsenal, they won 3 cups. They won 11 trophies in all in that time, I think. They were for years the leading English club, Arsenal. But not at the moment. They're 1-1 at Reading. And as it stands, Chelsea will be top with 26 points ahead of Manchester United goal difference. Arsenal would have 23 and Manchester City 21. And they've got a game in hand, Manchester City. Let's have Chelsea. Don't think we can overstate the importance of today.
No, that's right, but I think, you know, I've already said that both managers will be saying it won't be won and lost. The league won't be won and lost today because of how competitive the league is, and that we've seen every team in the WSL drop points, although these 2 teams at the moment are unbeaten. You know, clubs are capable of dropping points. Here's
Galton, strong one by her, tracked by G. And it came off the capable Magdalena Eriksson. 127th game for Chelsea in all competitions.
I think that's better from Manchester United. Get the ball to feet to Kristen Press, Leah Galton, Hansen. You know, I think they're trying to get in behind the fullbacks at the minute, but maybe it's better to give those players the ball to feet.
Corner kick here for Manchester United. Galton will take it. 6 minutes before the break. To the middle of the goal. Goalkeeper stayed rooted. Eriksson got the header away. Harder clears it out. And fast approach the last 5 minutes of the half. Brought to you by Atta Football. For more premium European women's football, then visit attafootball.com. His partner, Mark Skinner, about to head back to Orlando. Pre-season training for the Pride starts when?
Yeah, I think the NWSL pre-season training for all clubs starts on the 1st of February, so players will be returning back in market. So very exciting.
Usually got the Marta there this season. I don't know who else he's got this season. I know she was on a roster there, I saw. Manchester United on the attack. This is a chance for the equaliser. No way. She thinks that was offside. The flag of Sean Maciel is catching her though. But Chelsea was stretched, Laura.
Yeah, they certainly were, and Manchester United did well. Again, hold up play by Kristen Press, bring in other players, and yeah, I think she's just offside there. Good call, but they're the types of runs that we need to see Hansen, Galton making from out to in. You know, they're the runs that cause defenders problems. But certainly a more encouraging signs for Manchester United.
G dropped her shoulder, won't be on tune. Kirby tried to roll it around the corner to Mjelde. Good pressure there by Kirsty Smith. Manchester United counting down the minutes to half-time, and the dressing room talk from Casey Stoney. Kirsty Smith here. She'll have the numbers right. She's got a degree in accountancy and finance. And as you know, Laura, my timekeeping isn't great. 45 minus 41 and a half. 3.5.
It'd be really interesting to see what Casey Stoney does at half-time. Obviously, she has the ability to impact her players with her communication and her technical, tactical feedback and the mentality, but also we've known her to make changes. You know, she has some good quality substitutions on the bench. You know, how fit is Tobin Heath? Is she able to play? How many minutes can she play in this game? It'd be interesting to see, because she certainly would be a big lift at this moment for Manchester United.
We'll have possession here, and the cross into the penalty area by Galton. One back here by Christian Press, and the wriggle. Strong defending in the end, denied her a way through into that penalty area by Jonna Andersson, but it was a nice shift of balance and a gliding run from Christian Press.
It's interesting because arguably some fans prefer to see Press from the left. When she played for Utah Royals, she often played on the left so she could drive in field with the right foot and shoot from distance, and she scored some absolutely fantastic goals. So, you know, it'd be interesting she hasn't played left or right for Manchester United so far. She's played down the centre, so arguably could she play in a wider role and produce some more magic? That
was always the big question when they signed Heath and Press. Where would they play? Because we've become accustomed to seeing them both in wide positions for the US over the years.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I know Casey rates Hansen, you know, really highly, and Leah Galton has just been performing so well. So it's just about trying to fit all those jigsaw pieces in and get the best for the team. Sigsworthy
did so well in the promotion campaign, and let's not forget Jane Ross is there as well. Very experienced Scottish international. Scoring rate at international level is virtually one of the other two games for Scotland. So there are options for Manchester United. It is a strong squad. Here's Cuthbert. G. And Harder finding the pocket of space to run Manchester United again and get the shot away. Ooh, it's juggled there by Mary Earps. That was uncomfortable for a moment.
She made that look so easy. Pernilla Harder picks the ball up, she gains momentum, cuts across Hayley Ladd so she can't get a tackle in, and drives that one.
Manchester United have yet to have a shot on target. Chelsea have had 10 in all. All of those on target, I would hasten to add. Here's Millie Turner. She can be a real danger at set pieces, but Chelsea have been very careful not to give away any in their defensive third. Run strongly by Mjelde. And here's Leupolz, the signing from Bayern Munich. Eriksson. Cuthbert couldn't get anything on that really. Had a very good spell. This is her 11th start in 14 games, Erin Cuthbert. Galton trying to win it back against Leupolz. Kerr, good touch under pressure. G in towards Kirby. Referee might have pulled that back. She'd signalled she was playing the advantage. None was really gained, and Manchester United can break now until Christian Press ran into Millie Bright. A goal separates the sides. A tight first half. Not much between the two. Chelsea have had the better attempts, the more attempts. They might have got one or two more than they have. Sam Kerr missed 2 or 3 early opportunities, but they have looked dangerous when they've come forward, and they lead here 1-0 at half-time, Laura.
Yeah, I think Chelsea have just edged it with their performance. You know, how well they've done in midfield. I think they've won the midfield battle, been better the way they've been able to overload those areas with Cuthbert, G, Leupolz, Harder, Frank Kirby coming into that central midfield area at times. You know, I think they've stifled Manchester United. So I think they've just edged it, and a good performance from them first half. Touch
of early spring about the day. Spring in the step of Chelsea as they go off at half-time, leading 1-0. Welcome back to Kings Meadow. Manchester United's players taking the field of play for the second half in the red and white, trailing Chelsea by a 1-0. The goal scored by Pernille Harder in that first half. The major difference between the two sides, the creativity of Chelsea's front three, really. Harder and Kirby, and of course Sam Kerr with Cuthbert down the left-hand side. Manchester United, have they left press too isolated? We know Hansen, we know banging form, but sometimes you see a little bit too isolated there, press up front, Laura?
Yeah, I think so. I think the front three are isolated in their own positions, and we saw the dangerous run that Hansen made from out to in behind centre-backs, and if the ball's being played through into space, you know, they're the runs that can really hurt defences like this. So yeah, I think so, and I think ideally I'd like to see Manchester United mix it up, some balls to feet so they can go 1v1 and really take the game to these defenders, or sometimes some balls into space to really, so we can see the pace of like you say, Hansen, Galton and Press. But really, I do think it's the Manchester United midfield that need to step up their game, as I think Chelsea have dominated in there. The first ball, second ball, they've won. And certainly Manchester United needs something else, you know, whether it's the wide players coming infield to overload in there, but something else to really get hold of this game.
So afternoon draws on, the sun has dipped away. It's still a very pleasant late afternoon in south-west London. Kingston is 10 miles southwest of Charing Cross, which is the geographical centre of London, or so they say, an ancient market town very close to the River Thames. It's here where they used to crown the kings of England. Christian Press. It's a little bit cold out there. The temperature has dipped. As soon as the sun went down, the temperature started to plummet. And Emma Hayes wrapped up against the chill, but she will be delighted with that first half performance, Laura.
Yeah, I think she will, especially coming off the back of last weekend's performance. And interesting enough, from last week, she said that, you know, this team has another gear in it, and you know that's really interesting and exciting for fans, for us to sit here and watch. And certainly they're showing it, you know, against a top of the table clasher. They're producing it when it matters.
And here we go in the second half. Manchester United get us off and underway in the red shirts and white shorts at the moment. Second in the table to Chelsea, who'll go above them if they keep this 1-0 victory on goal difference. They've already won one trophy this year, the Community Shield, having beaten Manchester City in the final of that. They play at Manchester City, I believe, on Wednesday in the Continental Cup quarter-final. They're into the Champions League round of 16. The draw for that won't be until mid-February. They're after everything they can win. Not the only ones. Manchester United, not in Europe. And if they can land their title in their second season in the WSL, it would be an astounding feat. Confirmation of the two sides for you then, at the bottom of your screen. Chelsea with Nielda and Eriksson and Harder and G back in their starting lineup. Manchester United, Christian Press starting for the first time since early November. And a couple of other changes as well. Hayley Ladd is in, and Kirsty Hansen also in for Manchester United. Tobin Heath only on their bench. I would imagine we'd see her at some stage if she's fit. That's 4 goals for Manchester United, assist as well. She's started 9 of their last 10 games. This was the ground of AFC Wimbledon, the men's team, who's subsequently gone back to their old home at Plough Lane. Everyone knows the Crazy Gang tale, the team that came from nowhere up through the divisions to top flight football and won the FA Cup in men's football. The greatest lines of commentary over that John Motson final. The Crazy Gang have beaten the Culture Club. Team that's gone in the second half. Two years ago, Manchester United running Chelsea so close would have been a huge surprise, but not the way this football club has developed. This aspiration for Pernilla Harder. Decision has gone against Chelsea. And Smith will take the free kick here for Manchester United. One of the team that came up through from WSL 2 promotion campaign. Here's Galton. Easily gathered up by Katrin Berger. He's keeping Carly Telford out of the side. And has been for a long while. Anderson. Less use of the ball, and it's easily dealt with. 2 results so far: Manchester City beating Aston Villa 7-0 and Everton beating Bristol City 4-0. No other additions to the current games going on. Birmingham 0, Brighton 0, Reading 1, Arsenal 1. Down there by Ona Batler. She was at the Madrid side and Barcelona's youth team. Moving on to Levante and then English football with Manchester United in the summer. Here's Toon. And Smith. Can hold it up there with Leah Galton. Back on the left-hand side again for Manchester United at the start of the second half. G into Cuthbert, who rode the challenge very well. Switches to Harder. She's come to the right-hand side. Kirby in the more central role there. Look, they have changed, and this is picked up by Mjelde. Kirby belatedly went to support her. And Galton trapped that well. That's the left back in her. Mjelde on the outside of Smith, dangerous cross in and cut out just inside the 6-yard area by Millie Turner. And a fine campaign, this long run of league appearances under her belt, her 46th league appearance in a row, a club record.
Manchester United need to be careful here. They've already conceded from a set piece, a second phase from a corner in the first half, so to do that again would be a real shame.
Cuthbert with the out-swinging corner towards the near post. Kirby got something on it. Hardy's had an excellent game for Chelsea out wide to G. Now to get the ball into Kerr. Disguised the pass back to the South Korean. G couldn't bring it under control, and Chelsea have to go all the way back to Magdalena Eriksson. Early wastes a pass, Ji So-yun. Bit scrappy that. Jackie Cronin. Press. No movement for her, so she has to come back to a deeper position. And here's Smith now. And Jackie Cronin's pass. Ella Toon. And Galton. She's fouled. Oh, I thought she was. The referee's well positioned though and disagrees with me. Got closer to it than I am. Delatoon. There wasn't a word of dissent though there, you'll notice again. You very rarely see it. We've said many times in the commentary of WSL matches, very rarely see dissent. Even rarer to see players diving.
It was an interesting decision from the keeper, from Ann-Katrin Berger, to take the touch to where the pressure's coming from. They've just got away with it. But interesting, I think this second half, Ella Toon's been involved in the game a little bit more. I thought she was quiet in the first half, had to do so much defending and off the ball work, but already we've seen her pop up and play some key passes forward. And for United to get back into this game and create more opportunities, Ella Toon needs to be on the ball.
Creative player, technically gifted, the 21-year-old from Wigan in the northwest of England. A very good promotion campaign. Back there by Batya. Holding is Hayley Ladd, but doesn't get it. As Hansen turns out again to take on G. No way through there for her. I just think Manchester United at times need to move the ball quicker. They do have a corner kick here now, though.
Yeah, surprising. I thought G had defended that well, stayed at the ball, stayed at task. But Hansen does equally as well to manipulate the ball and get a set piece for a team. And we know how dangerous Manchester United are from set pieces, having scored many. Millie Turner's a big target, Amy Turner. You know, they're really exceptional in the air.
Millie Turner scored in their last game just before Christmas against Bristol City. It's a dangerous ball in, that's their first corner. Actually, Manchester United. Kirby will look to run it away for Chelsea. With that pace she has, it's good defending against her. Really good defending by the Spanish international. Right back who's come to the left, can play on the left. Did really well there.
There's a great race, great battle between those two players. And likewise between Hayley Ladd and Leupolz. You know, both tenacious, like to get their body in between the ball and player.
Manchester United about to make a change. Forward player coming on in Lauren James. Scored their first ever WSL goal. It was against Liverpool. She's only 19. She's the sister of Chelsea and England right back Reese. Nigel, dad, was a coach and the inspiration, I think, for young Lauren. We had the one start this season. Smith with the throw. Galton. Millie Bright came across. I think it's a Chelsea ball. Yes, good decision. Well played, Millie Bright.
It's been interesting from a Manchester United point of view that every time Leah Galton's got round the fullback, got round Mialda, Millie Bright's there to, you know, to cover up and balance, and that's a sign of a good defensive unit.
Well, Lauren James comes on for Christian Press as they carefully nurture Press through games at this stage. She's, as we said before, not started since the 9th of November. Hasn't started enough for Manchester United, but she was bright in that first half. I think they've just been careful with her with the games to come. And what sort of a player will we see now in Lauren James, Laura?
Well, Lauren James is, you know, adds a completely different dimension to Kristen Press. She holds the ball up so well. It's really difficult as a defender to get the ball off her. She uses her body, she's strong and she's skillful. She can manipulate the ball, take you on 1v1 and strike from anywhere on the pitch. So, you know, certainly Ann-Katrin Berger has to be aware when she's on the ball now.
Less physical demands on the Manchester United players in the second half of the season. They're not involved in the Continental Cup. They finished bottom of their qualifying group and they are not in Europe, of course. Their next league games, Birmingham at home, Reading at home, and then the big derby at the Manchester City game, the return of the 2-2 draw. They also played in the Continental Cup, which United won on penalties, but it wasn't good enough to take them through. And he broke behind James. Done well to hold it up. Here's Galton. And Ella Toon, shooting chance. A rueful look. Wasteful the effort.
Yeah, she'll be really disappointed with that. I think in the first half of the season, you know, that would have been a shot on target, making the keeper work. But today, she's not really been at the level, not been involved in possession as much as Manchester United and Casey Stoney would have liked her to. But again, a good display of Lauren James holding the ball up and bringing other players into play.
Top of the table clash in the WSL in England today. Top of the table clash in the Premier League as well. Manchester United's men will be hopeful of getting shots on target at Liverpool, but Casey Stoney's Manchester United women have yet to have a shot to test down Katrine Berger. And that's a major, major disappointment.
Yeah, it really is, especially because of, you know, how they were performing in the first half of the season. You know, they were so defensively strong, great on the counter-attack, you know, producing real fine crosses and getting a lot of bodies into the box, which is what they, you know, were renowned for. But today just haven't clicked. I think when they have got crosses in the box, there's not been the players, and then when the players have been in the box, there's not been the delivery. So it's just about getting that right.
Scored 27 goals in their 10 league games up until now, but they haven't looked like scoring today. And testing Berger in that Chelsea goal as she clicks clear. And he Turner headed it back through.
But having said that, while the game's only at 1-0, it only takes a refereeing decision, a moment, magic moment, or a set piece, you know, to be straight back into this goal and for the scoreline to be level.
Tottenham have gone 1-0 up at West Ham United. Quinn with the goal there. Still running 1, Arsenal 1, and Birmingham 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Birmingham, one of Laura's old clubs. Club of your boyhood dreams, girlhood dreams, I should say. Birmingham or Villa. Let's not go down that route, eh?
I know, yeah, being a Aston Villa fan all my life, but playing for Birmingham for most of my career. Friends and family often remind me of that. But yeah, had great times there.
Over by Leupolz. When Villa won the title back in the 80s, I used to stand on the Holt end with my friends. It's up there at university. We used to go, if we could do, Villa one week, Birmingham occasionally, Walsall. Great area for football.
That's why it's so great this year that Aston Villa women and Birmingham City ladies are, you know, in the WSL in the top flight, because there's so many talented players in the Midlands.
Westbourne Wolves, great game that was in the Premier League yesterday. Bit of a lull in the game here. That won't bother her. Willett, she looks a little bit concerned. What's going through her mind, Laura?
Well, I just don't think that Chelsea have found the rhythm that perhaps they had in the opening 20 minutes, and I think she'll be concerned by that. You know, she'll want another goal, you know, a bigger gap to, you know, hopefully that wanting to secure this win today. So I'm sure she would like her team, you know, pressing the ball a little bit better and creating more opportunities.
Nearly now played. Manchester United have stepped up a couple of yards higher up the pitch in the second half to get the likes of Kirsty Smith higher up. Here's James. Toon. James, shooting opportunity. Oh, brilliant effort, lovely goal. 1-1. An hour played, super goal.
Exactly, what a fantastic goal that is for her. You know, to have that give and go, the quality, the composure, the curl on the shot was absolutely fantastic. You know, and that's exactly what Emma Hayes, as we've seen the picture before, would have been worried about. You know, created this for herself, give and go off Ella Toon. Millie Bright does slip, but can't get nowhere near the ball. And to curl that round, Ann-Katrin Berger, is no easy feat, but she makes that look so easy.
She was Manchester United's youngest ever scorer. It's her first goal in nigh on a year since she netted away at Reading on February the 2nd of last year. It's a lovely take, it's a lovely equaliser. And that's why the Chelsea boss was concerned. She could see something like that coming. Harder. Tries to work it into Kirby. We've seen no interchange between Kirby and Kerr. Here's G. The shot deflects off Turner. Kerr's onside. And it's a decent save in the end. grasp it. She needed the defender to get it away, but it was a good stop to deny Kerr.
You said that the game had gone into a bit of a lull, and I totally agree, JP, but that goal, that bit of magic from Lauren James, that execution has certainly livened things up now.
Really well taken goal. G powering on here, trying to create. Shot deflected kindly, didn't it, to Kerr? This is a good stop, you know. Although she patted it back into a danger area, it was coming at her from fairly close range. Skies are growing ever greyer. Snow in many parts of the UK over the last few days, but not down here in the southeast of the country. Free kick for Chelsea. Just having a little glance there, Rebecca Welsh. A lofted free kick. Alfred Shirt's back there to deal with it, but Sam Kerr dropped off cleverly into space. Manchester United got a little bit fortunate there. Penny Turner jumped into the challenge. Casey Stoney not happy with the flag there. It's a Chelsea ball. She thought it was still in play. Really good equaliser for the first of the season. Chelsea have lost their way in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Lauren James, I think that was probably only a second or third touch, and to do that, to come on in such a huge top of the title clash between these two huge clubs, you know, to do that with such composure. Arguably, you'd want Eriksson up to the ball, a bit higher up, putting pressure on, getting closer, but she's tried to cut the angle down rather than get Lauren James's head down and put pressure on the ball, but taking nothing away from Lauren James. That's absolutely fantastic to come in and impact a game like that so quickly.
Top technique with the way she bent the ball in. And the table would once again show that Manchester United would be 3 points clear at the top, but Chelsea would have the game in hand. It's as you were at the top. Manchester City creeping closer to the leading duo with that 7-0 win over Aston Villa earlier. Everton back to form, beating Bristol City 4-0. 5 minutes to go at the Birmingham-Brighton game, it's 0-0. A couple of minutes to go, Reading against Arsenal, it's 1-1. And Spurs approaching half-time at West Ham, lead 1-0. It's high through the middle, and Kirby, will get through here. Hesitation at the back for Manchester United, and Fran Kirby makes them pay. Horrible defending by the league leaders, and Kirby, her fifth in 2 matches. 2-1 Chelsea.
She just seems to read the game and the situations quicker than any other player on the pitch, doesn't she? You said there was correctly so, hesitation in the back line, in the defenders, but not from Fran Kirby. She snips it out. Look, she sees the bounce. As defenders, you can't let the ball bounce, and when Fran Kirby sees that, she's onto it. And when she's in full acceleration, you can't catch her. But a great touch this is. She has time to assess the situation and finishes. She only needs that chance. Great execution from Fran Kirby.
Second touch took it on, didn't it? Away from the covering Amy Turner, who's trying to get back at her. Good control, lovely finish.
You can see the socially distanced celebrations there, JP.
Quite right. And well, I know how close she would have been to her in Canada when she burst onto the world scene. She was, Mark Sampson called her England's fox in the box. And, you know, there were mini Messi, all these tags were thrown onto the shoulders of a very young player at the time, and she has struggled to deal with 1 or 2 issues in her life. She lost her mum when she was young. She's had this really appalling illness for the last couple of years, and it is a really a lovely thing to see her enjoying her football and her health, her fitness, and scoring goals in such fashion.
Like you say, I think from 2015 when she burst onto the scene, no one's ever forgotten her name worldwide. She's up there with one of the best players in the world. You know, arguably, like you say, if she would have been able to keep herself fit through one reason or another, you know, she would have won a hell of a lot more awards than she has them.
10 goals this season for her. She brings in Harder with a cross to the far post. That's slipped away. You know, she had that lull in form of fitness. She had an illness called pericarditis. It left her feeling like a zombie, she says. But she still scored 28 goals in the last 38 games. She scored 148 senior goals for club and country in 186 games. And there's still so much time for her. She's only 27. Double substitution coming up for Chelsea. Sophie Ingle, I think, was one of those players coming on. Central midfield player, more of a defensive midfield player. And Manchester United were level for 4 minutes. And Mjelde will take the throw. Approaching the midway mark of the second half. Becky Cronin went into a forest of Chelsea legs. Another match brought to you with Atta Football. For more premium European women's content, visit attafootball.com. And a quarter of the game left. Bright wins it for Chelsea. Toon. Mjelde misjudged it, but now can lob it up. And it's a lovely first-time ball by Kerr. Kirby. Kerr made the run through the middle. The header takes it on, but eventually it's cleared up by Hayley Ladd. Dependable is Hayley Ladd. In his 6th start of the season. Here's Galton trying to get away from Aaron Mjelde. Also a flag raised, I fancy.
What a fantastic game Aaron Mjelde's had so far. I think, you know, after playing a lot of her football in England at centre midfield, you know, this season operating at right back, you know, she's fitted in seamlessly, and she seems to just have a 7, 8 out of 10 game every single game. She's so consistent, so reliable up against some of the, you know, strongest wide players in the league, in the world, and she just makes it look so easy. You know, she's certainly not an underrated player by any means in the Chelsea squad and in the Chelsea setup, because she goes about her business, you know, so confidently and so assured.
Well, they've got decent players in the squad, defenders in the squad who can't make it through at the moment because of the consistency of Mjelde, Bright, Eriksson and Anderson. But they know the pressure is there, they know they have to perform each week. Here's G, who rarely underperforms. Kirby, they need to run in behind Manchester United now, stretch the game, make the pitch big. There are plenty of matches to play. We are only at the halfway mark of the season, but the worrying thing from a Manchester United perspective, Laura, for me, if Chelsea overtake them at the top, will they have enough? Can they deal with that mentally? Because in terms of performance on the pitch, they've been a long way short today, second best. Apart from that little period at the start of the second half, Harder's going to go off here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, certainly, to see, you know, if it does stay like this at full time, because I think Manchester United as well have the top teams in and around them away from home, so that'll certainly be a test for them. But knowing Casey Stoney and her mentality and how hard she works on the mentality and togetherness, she certainly won't let her players let up, and, you know, she'll certainly want them to stand up and take on those challenges.
On comes the Welsh international, steady midfield player. She started 5 of their last 7 games. The coach is a big fan, and on comes Beth England as well. In her 6 starts this season, she's scored in 4 of those games, approaching 100 goals in her career now. And Samko had been a little bit flat at the start of the second half, has gone on. They often interchange, England and Kerr, like for like. But again, with Bethany England, cameo roles here and there. It's the same situation with Carly Telford. You know, it's great that Chelsea have that strength and depth. It's not good for England. No,
that's right. You know, from a England manager's point of view, you want your players to be playing competitive games week in, week out. You know, so then that they bring that level of performance into international camp. You know, but like you say, as a player, you sometimes go through that. You're only 1 injury away from the starting 11, for example, or a bad performance, or, you know, with the amount of games that Chelsea have, though, you know, you're probably going to is going to rotate and use her strength in depth as we've seen so far in the last 2 games.
Questions that Serena Wiegmann will have to deal with, the New England head coach who takes over in September, replacing Phil Neville. And Neville, of course, linked with a move to US football. Here's Lauren James now for Manchester United. She scored once. Oh, goodness me, that's a screaming effort just wide. Got some power behind that.
Yeah, she really is. And I think from a defensive point of view, you know, you're saying don't show Lauren James in on, don't show her infield on her right foot because of all the goal that she's already scored. But this is what she can do on her left foot. She's quite comfortable going out on the outside because she has power in her shot on both feet. It's just she's a little bit more accurate on her right foot compared to her left. But, you know, again, it's another big warning sign for Chelsea to get up and maybe double mark on her.
Obviously concerns as to whether the WSA will complete this season. Concerns throughout all football whether the season will be finished because of the pandemic. You know, that Emma Hayes was speaking this week in her regular column she does for the BBC in England about it's a collective responsibility for everyone to protect the game. We're all responsible for the women's game. And she says she's been in a long time and she's been desperate for the sport to get where it is now. She realises how fragile it can be and that everyone involved in the game has to protect it. She's fascinating company, Emma Hayes. 18 minutes ago, 17 minutes ago here. I think it's fair to say she doesn't suffer fools gladly.
No, that's right. She's certainly, like you say, she's been involved in the women's game. She's seen the good, the bad and the ugly. She's been around. She's obviously, you know, coached abroad as well. So, you know, her knowledge pool is so vast, and the amount of people that she can, you know, call up, her mentors, and how many people that she's mentoring. So, you know, she's a brilliant advocate for the women's game, and, you know, she certainly have strong opinions about its direction.
Amy Turner for Manchester United on her back here. I saw a cutaway there of Tobin Heath still on the bench for Manchester United. Arsenal has finished 1-1. They played 8 minutes of stoppage time in that game, by the way. And Bruton scored for Reading in the first half. 5 minutes into the game, Viv Niedermar levelled 5 minutes before half-time. It looked at one stage that there would be a title tussle between Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City, and even Everton, who started this season very strongly, but one or two are just beginning to fall away now. Arsenal 3 points behind Chelsea, having played a game more. And Manchester United about to send on Jess Sigsworth. So he's come on there. 16 minutes to go. Hansen has departed. And here comes the player who got a club record goal, 18 goals in 2018-19 in their promotion campaign. Only the one this season. She's hardly started again. She's only had 2 starts. Got an hour to go. What can we expect of Jess Sigsworth?
Again, she's a strong player. She holds the ball up really well, and she's fast in behind, so she likes to run the channels and, you know, make a bad ball into a good ball, for example. And, you know, she's certainly a really lively centre forward, and she scored some crucial goals in her career. Struggled this year with injury, but she certainly looks hungry this season so far.
Caution there for Jackie Cronin. Kingsmeadow, Badlands for the Bruce Springsteen fan. It's Chelsea trying to clear the lines on the left-hand side with Jonna Andersson. Nothing has got past her all day long. Chelsea to make a substitution now. 14 minutes to go. This is their third of the game. She's going to go off. And a little bit of instruction there for for Erin Cuthbert. She may make a change of position because Guro Wrighton's going to come on. Cuthbert's been playing on the left-hand side. Wrighton normally plays out there. And it seems that Cuthbert has come into the more central position now. Good player to bring on.
Yeah, Guro Wrighton arguably would get into every other team in the WSL and a started position. Her left foot, you know, is fantastic, and her crossing on the run, her crosses from all range on that left-hand side, a pinpoint. Whenever she's on the ball and she's got time and space, you just see the Chelsea players flood the box because they just know it's going to be of a high quality.
The Scandinavian international is Guro Wrighton. Norwegian. It's a shot from Beth England. Interesting to see how far wide that was from behind the goal if we get a replay of that. Snatched at it on the half volley. A confidence player is Bethany England. Let's have a look here. Put it down neatly enough. Oh, it's well wide.
Yeah, she does well to skip the challenge of Amy Turner, but it was always, she sliced it, it was always going away from goal.
Kirby tries to get around the corner. Manchester United have just over 12 minutes to get back into this. Galton looking for the run of Sigsworth. I still think that Casey Stoney would have thought they'd test the Chelsea goalkeeper more than they have done. Picked the ball out of the net, but she hasn't had a shot to save apart from that one. He's bright. That Lyon defence has sort of traditionally been the best defence in Europe for many a year now. But I think in their transitional phase, and looking at this Chelsea back four, I think it's right up there. It's perhaps the best back four in European football right now.
Yeah, I think it would be a toss-up between them both. I still like the Lyon defence. I think they've replaced Lucy Bronze with Ellie Carpenter, who's got experience in Australia, at Portland in the NWSL, and she's very similar to Lucy Bronze in terms of her physical attributes, but albeit younger. But yeah, those two defences are very different, but you know, so strong, and you know, the way they defend and to watch them and to learn off them, you know, is a pleasure to watch.
High by Millie Bright. In there bravely did Cuthbert. Gets the free kick. More to the right hand side, Cuthbert. With Ingle and Leupolz. The heart of things. Not too sure what the Chelsea coach just said there, but lip reading, it wasn't a word you'd find in any dictionary, or I don't know what the dictionaries you use are, but it was Old Anglo-Saxon, I believe.
That's a good reason for managers to keep the mask on as well.
Kirby, I think she's going for a cross there. So Guro Wrighton coming in from that left-hand side. But again, a decisive role played in the game by Fran Kirby. 13 games played this season, 10 goals. Back to her very best.
And when you're playing on a team and you have Fran Kirby, you just know that you're definitely going to be competitive within the game, and you know that at any moment she could score, she could be the difference. So she gives that a team and her fellow teammates an extra boost, the confidence boost, the mentality that you need, because she's that good of a player.
Player of the match for you today, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's been quite a few standouts, especially from Chelsea. I think Leupolz has dominated the midfield and communicated and got people in. I think Mialda and, like you say, Anderson have been superb, but you know, maybe not going forward, but certainly defensively have nullified Manchester United.
It's James now for United. 10 minutes to go. He's forced a corner kick there. He thought the ball might have bounced back off the Manchester United goal scorer. brother will be watching on from somewhere. Chelsea played yesterday in the Premier League, winning at Fulham in the West London derby. No fans allowed in the grounds, of course, otherwise you might have been here. But anyway, they crossed the far stick and pushed away by Berger under pressure. Bright was there for cover. Dalton, and Bright drawn out to the right-hand side. That left a gap in the middle. Well, there was cover there anyway by Mjelde. Has played in a more central role this season in defence. Corner kick for Manchester United. Played against West Ham United here as a centre-back to Mjelde in the 3-2 win when West Ham frightened them in the second half. Again, the set piece dealt well with. I thought it's got the header away. Time is ticking down on Manchester United. We've seen them come back from worse positions this season, the game against Manchester City at home notably. They trailed against Chelsea in the opening game of the season to Sam Kerr's goal in the first half. And they got levelled 11 minutes from time. It'll be the late show today. As Tobin Heath watched on there. Here's Smith. You have to remember where Manchester United, this team, has come from in the last 2 years. It's a startling rise from nothing to leading the WSL table, but they'll lose that spot in 7 minutes' time. What can they do here from this free kick given away? The foul by Leupolz. She's been terrific since she joined in the summer.
She really has. She reminds me of what Katie Chapman used to do for Chelsea in terms of all the dirty work, all the off the ball, the tackles, the heading, the winning the battles in midfield, and it just gives you such a solid stability and foundation for the rest of the team to go and be creative and you know, give the flair and, you know, score all the wonderful goals. But without that solid core and foundation to build on, you know, it's tough to do that.
Free kick here for Chelsea. With a high foot raised. A forlorn look there. And she had a bright opening 10 minutes to the second half, but otherwise hasn't been her best game.
All credit to her for her previous performances, because we've come to know her levels so high, how she impacts the game, her creativity, her runs from midfield. You know, she just hasn't reached those levels, but all credit to her. She set those standards for herself, and that's what, as fans of the WSL, that's what we've come to accustomed to.
Well, Manchester United ever present this season. Check of the watch for the Chelsea manager, 5.5 to go. Even under that. Outstanding Mjelde. Amy Turner rose the highest. Amy Turner. Leupolz underneath it. Hooked on there by Wrighton. Gently played back by Millie Turner. Be surprised if the New England setup didn't have a little look at Millie Turner. England under 23 and under 19 international, hasn't gone on to full international scene. Always impressed when she was down at Bristol City. She was captain there at a fairly young age, having started at the Manchester United Academy. A leader, Millie Turner, sort of player that I think Casey Stoney would appreciate.
Yeah, I think on the international stage she has been involved in some of the training camps, but you know, it's tough. We have a lot of good centre backs now, but you're right, for such a player, such, you know, so young, she certainly plays as an old head. She's composed, and like you say, developing into a leader, and she loves the battles and learning and growing with Amy Turner, who's been in the, you know, so experienced in the WSL.
Cuthbert trying to get away beyond Smith. Well, that game management here with Less than 4 minutes to go. Eriksson bringing it out. Great switch there, vision and execution, but Kirby had gone a little bit too early. On 2 occasions the assistants have flagged, but the whistle has come late. Not too sure if that's a communication problem. Cuthbert from the full clearance out by Mary Earps. The Fox couldn't control it. Hayley Ladd. Chelsea about to extend this unbelievable unbeaten league record they have to 32 games, going back to the 27th of January 2019 when Birmingham won here 3-2. It would be an 11th win in their last 12 games. For Manchester United, the first defeat in the league in 12 months. Kirby, arriving from the deep position, was Ingle. Really hit it convincingly, always bending wide.
And we have seen Ingle hit it from those types of distances, haven't we? You know, with her left and right foot. So she'll be disappointed that she didn't connect better. But it was good vision from Ingle to pick out Kirby in the first place.
Berger's got a problem here late on for Chelsea. They have a very capable replacement on the bench should they want to bring Carly Telford on. Talking of England internationals, she has the 24 games for her country, Carly Telford. And she's played 3 times this season. She needs to play more if she's to remain in the England scene. She played against Manchester United away, and against the Arsenal away, and played against Benfica here in the Champions League just before Christmas. Carly Telford. Otherwise it's been all Ann-Katrin Berger. So there might be a touch of cramp, but not there. Maybe it was a jolt in her ankle when she kicked. Anyway, she's okay. We go into the last couple of minutes. Manchester United do have those 3 home games to come in the next 4, but they trail here to that Kirby goal. And they'll need to hit back at home against Birmingham and Reading with wins in those 2 games and beat Villa the other side of the Manchester derby against City on the 12th of February. There's a little break actually in the WSL season after that February the 12th date. And then don't play until March. Into the last 30 seconds here now. Leopold's quick to pounce. That plays out to Turner. And Hayley Ladd looks long. It's a good switch of play. And they create up there now. Cronin dropped the shoulder and went away. That's well played. This is promising Manchester United. Kirsty Smith with the ball in by Magdalena Eriksson. We're in stoppage time. Ingle, chase for England and Millie Turner. The Manchester United throw, but certainly Emma Hayes will be happy with the way Chelsea played that right out there into the corner area to send a few sands of time slipping away. 3.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Full ball out by Ladd.
You can just see Chelsea chasing everything down, breaking up play. They just want to spoil any attack that Manchester United are able to combine. They're quite happy to kill the game, kill the momentum, and just make it really bitty.
Three minutes of stoppage time to go. Headed on by Galton. Sigsworth. And Millie Bright steadily back to her goalkeeper. Actually, Chelsea haven't done that particularly well. Rolled up the arm of Cuthbert, rolled up the arm there of Chaki Cronin.
Just keep going! Just keep going! Stay there, Jess! Jess, stay
Could this be a massive turning point in this season? Signpost game for the title. Chelsea will be top. Now by Wrighton. He's pushed into the Manchester United player there. Amy Turner's down. Not a great ball forward, under a wee bit of pressure there, Smith. Dug the pass out, really. A few dispirited looks among Manchester United players.
I think that's been a theme all game, to be honest, JP. I think that when they've needed the final ball or the execution hasn't been quite there, it's been hit too hard, or the detail hasn't been there, especially in the first half. That was a big problem for them.
Here's Kirby. I don't know how fit Tobin Heath is, but Manchester United supporters will want to know why she hasn't been used.
Yeah, I think the clip the camera showed 10 minutes ago that she had her trainers on, so whether she put those on at half-time, you know, no one knows, but it's clear that, you know, she's not available to play, because if she was, Casey Stoney 100% would have used her.
Christian Press sitting there in the foreground. This match brought to you by Atta Football. For more premium European women's content, visit attafootball.com. We're into the last minute. Sensed in that first game of the season how important it was, a Manchester United-Chelsea clash. United played very well in coming back that day, and since then they've had a very, very strong first half of the season. Kirby holding on to it. Did well enough. She's been outstanding.
Yeah, she really has. She was outstanding last week, and this week exactly the same. And I think in attacking sense, she's just been given the freedom. She can play central, come and overload central areas, or she can go out wide. But, you know, she's certainly in and out of possession. She's unplayable. She's been sensational so far.
Chelsea just need to be careful in the last 10 seconds. Becca Walsh has checked her watch, the referee. It's a free kick here for United. Now by Wrighton. I saw a yellow card there flashed momentarily. And we're into added time. Added on to stoppage time. And this is Manchester United's last effort and last hope. Mary Earps will just get it into the mix there. Amy Turner is forward, Millie Turner is forward. Will it drop here to Sigsworth, and Berger will come and claim. And that's the end. Chelsea have beaten Manchester United by 2-1 to go back to the top of the WSL. The champions are top. Manchester United disposed. Harder put Chelsea ahead in the first half. James off the bench scored on the hour, though, a beautiful goal. But 4 minutes later, Fran Kirby popped up with a winner for Chelsea.
An excellent display by Chelsea. I think they shown all different types of dimensions to their game. You know, in the first half it was all about their attacking flair, how easy it was to open up Manchester United and the chances that they created. But second half they had to grit it out, do the ugly work, do the out of possession, and the difference, you know, certainly was Fran Kirby, who's got to be player of the match for me.
Outstanding, Fran Kirby, and she's won it for Chelsea 2-1.